Doors I should never even open. Things that I thought was for me wasn't for me at all. And I should never even went down that road. We are Jackson. We go after everything that we want. We strive. I was born and raised in church. We was going to church almost 4 or 5 times a week. The best leaders are great listeners.
When it comes to church, you're kind of up and down. Why is that?
When I'm just trying to be able to get to Sunday knowing for a fact, like, it's hard to take the mask off of living a double life because you're truly not happy within yourself. It's harder now trying to get back in. It's hard now. I get emotional about it sometimes because when my brother passed away, it's just sometimes I feel like I let my mom down, not being the man I need to be. I can be honest now, it's just like you get addicted to
Always this problem with alcohol.
Before you become addicted to something, you're curious on it. I gotta be perfect. When you're in a leadership position, you cannot make any mistakes.
But did that come from just?
That's
just who you.
No,
who
that's
you've been,
how.
or?
No, that's just how we were raised. That's the
Okay.
church environment. If only the pastor, reverend, whoever, is only blessed, and everybody else is broke, something ain't right.
What's up, y'all? This is Just Ashley Keaton, the JAK podcast, and we're here with What You Cooking, also known as Jordan Jackson, also known as Jimmy Choo. You know what I'm saying? He might not have come out with the cologne, but he might have had a name first. You know, who knows? It's still debatable. So we're here to have this conversation, and I'm excited, man. So how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm feeling amazing, man. How you feel?
I'm feeling good, man.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. How you doing, brother Ashley? You know, he be saturating the building. You know, always got to shout out the little brother Ashley over there.
Ashley, is that a bobblehead?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, amen. But look, man, y'all like the video, and also subscribe if you're feeling it, because we're about to get into some, you know, some real deep things. I don't know if he's about to Cat Williams the conversation.
No,
or, you know, we're gonna see where it goes.
Nah, I'm gonna move.
I'm gonna be over here Shannon and oh Lord, God, let me talk. Oh gosh, Cat. That's all I'm gonna be doing. All right, and Josh, how you doing, man? Got Josh on the board.
Doing well.
Yeah, Michael Benson, he's still on his sabbatical. Y'all pray his strength in the Lord. First, I just want to ask you, how has the marriage life been treating you, man?
The experience of being married is still new to us, even though we've known each other all our lives. Man, it's a blessing that I was able to marry my best friend, so I'm loving it, man.
Y'all knew each other way back then, man.
Yeah, I was 14. She was 17, you know, and we hit it off. And shoot, since then, man, we had our ups and downs just like anybody else, but I appreciate her more than ever, you know, so.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, brother.
Got to shout out to your wife.
Shout out to my wife.
Definitely.
Nuke, you already know what it is. Love you to death. This is kind of like our thing right here, though, because we were just talking about doing a podcast, and man, when you hit me up, it was just like,
yeah, man.
you know, spot on. Like you almost like you were just in the living room when you was talking about it. So,
Hey, man, God, honestly, God has been doing some things in some mysterious ways.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate you coming here to talk about it.
Yeah.
To talk about everything, you know, because, you know, it's just crazy how many people, and that makes me feel good that people are comfortable enough to have a conversation with me,
Right.
knowing I'm not gonna, you know, bring any harsh judgment, assuming what happens or what I think, you know, because I understand everybody has a story, and we do not understand. You don't know my story.
No, you're right, though.
We sing the song, but do we believe it?
No, we sing the song.
You know
word
what I'm
for word.
saying? How was it for you? Like, you're beginning to, you know, church, and then getting here today.
Right.
Just like the whole, thing, however you want to do it.
Right. Man, I just start off as being a kid, someone who's what they call wet behind the ears. Just brand new to. I was born and raised in church. We was going to church almost 4 or 5 times a week, and I was raised where my mom. I used to help my mom clean up the church. It taught me everything. It taught me just the type of person that I am today. I'm selfless, just like her. My mom is still a prayer warrior. She instilled in me what it is to always try to always putting God first. Honestly, which led me here today. I mean, the journey and the road that I took, it was, everybody has their ups and downs, but the thing is about, I always wanted to have my own personal relationship, because my mom has always been that armor bearer where she, I was always praying for everybody. She was always going to the altar and laying hands on people and checking up on folks and being able to just encourage. And I'm that same type of person. I'm always an encourager. Now on my journey, as I got older to be a teenager, I started out playing drums. I was passionate about drums as a kid. I remember my first drum set. I remember being young in an apartment, beating on dressers. Anything I could play, I tried to play it. It's just that once I got into the church, I had my opportunity to play. Man, I think my favorite drummer was Jeff Pascal. He went to our church, and so he was he was the best drummer I ever seen in my life.
Wow.
The way that he took control and took demand and commanded, like just everybody sticking together and the glue of what being a musician is all about, and that's what kind of drew me to want to be in church even more. Granted, my parents were bringing me. My mom and dad always brought me to church, but I finally had something to do at church. I had a passion of being a musician, and in that, it just taught me like my value in it. It taught me work ethic, how to practice, and in that, like even in today, it's just like my work ethic alone as a man now is the same thing I try to instill in my kids. Not having that type of mentality of, oh, you just don't quit when things get hard. You know what I mean? Like we go after what we are Jackson. Mm-hmm. We go after everything that we want. We strive. But through it all, like the man I am today is so much different now. It's exciting to be a part of this journey that I am now. Am I in church now? Up and down. It's confusing sometimes. Exactly what you want for you and your family. But you truly want to be somewhere where it's like God has to be in there. That's all I know. Is God has to be in that place. I'm not looking for sexy church, or as what they call it, or
right.
I want God to, when I walk into a place now, it's just because I'm so used to it, I want God to be in that place and you feel it. Prayers are being prayed. That people are being blessed. Miracles are being carried out all through this, not just in the service, but outside these walls as well, too.
I was too young to even know that Jeff Pascal even played drums.
Yeah. I mean,
when I came into consciousness, it was Darren.
What's so crazy? It was Darren Summerall, but
yeah,
Darren Summerall he was able to teach me a little bit here and there. I remember when you first started playing music. I remember when you started practicing, literally at the church, and just seeing the maturity of how you were as you got older, and just being able to evolve. I kind of gravitated somewhat towards you because you were so innovative. And that's who I am as a person. I want to be around those type of people, those like-minded type of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I was kind of starstruck, when I saw you now, just being able to play. And you just, how some people say, oh, well, he's a natural. Well, practice, then you can become a natural because
Yeah.
it makes it look easy.
Yeah,
But
you see me when I wasn't there.
what? When he was just playing G.
Hey, we ain't got to talk about that.
I'm just being honest, But I mean, just look at you now. I mean, we gel so perfectly, and we didn't. I may not know keys, I may not know notes, I may not know
You
much,
don't communicate it
but
somehow.
I can. When you play music, it brings so many people together because it's like I can just look at you and I know what direction you're going into. And that's where kind of like me and your relationship kind of started, when I kind of like was pushed into a leadership role of being a praise and worship leader. Had no clue about what that position required and the responsibility of it, but I knew for a fact there's not one Wednesday or a Sunday that I can go up there and I don't see to my left-hand side Ashley over there playing. I felt comfortable with you over there, at the hem of you're doing amazing things. You know what I mean? And like it's almost like I can't go up there without my battle buddy. I wasn't comfortable without you being there. Granted we had other people come, but it was just like, man, Ashley, like he knows me. You know what I mean? He's almost like he's praying and singing along, and in his thought process, he letting God guide him. And that's how I was the exact same way. I wanted to be so innovative to the point where I didn't want to bore God. Mm-hmm. You ever felt like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something else that God wants me to get to.
Yeah.
And, just you speaking about that, like there were some things that, like you didn't play piano, but you said some things that helped me play better, right?
Correct.
So even with that, like we kind of made each other better. We bounced off each other, ideas. You can see it in the music.
Yeah.
You can see it when they speak. You can see it when they even minister to someone.
Right.
And it's like you're kind of in your own head and you're not reaching me.
The best leaders are great listeners. It's kind of like to bring me back when I was a kid, in school. I was a class clown, but to be a class clown, you got to listen. You got to understand when to chime in your joke, when to really listen to the teacher to make fun of certain things. And I know it sounds kind of petty, but it was so true. I didn't know I was going to be a leader until later on, or to even be thrown in that type of leadership position. But I knew for a fact, I'm like, man, if I ever get the opportunity to lead, I need to understand my group, understand the team. I'm not. It's not always about the one who has the cordless microphone, who's out in the front. The person in the back are leaders as well too, and they're great leaders. Because how in the world they can do a 3-part harmony if they're not listening to the person beside them? So it taught me along the way, like, how can we make this thing, better as musicians, as praise and worship leaders, as people who want to exalt the name of Jesus in the, not only on a Sunday or Wednesday, but to make it sound so good that the audience out there was in amazement because, one off key or one off note, because you decide to do your own thing, it messes up everything, So,
I can almost tell who you are as a person by how you play your instrument now.
Absolutely.
I can tell, I can see like I can see when someone is playing with a bunch of chords that and they can't do, like, it's not like about like can you do melodies or not.
Right.
But it's where are you needed in the ministry?
Right.
You're needed in a place where, maybe you're more comfortable pulling people together, maybe being more in the background.
Correct.
And, as far as somebody that's doing lead, but, not like in a prideful way
Right.
where they try to take over.
Right.
you could tell if they're doing lead, they're probably someone that may need a solo every now and again, because like you're good at that.
Man,
So, and then if they do try to take over, then you could tell, you're probably going to try to take over in other areas.
listen, Ashley, you're hitting it on the money because leadership is so important because not only do you have to be a great listener, but you got to know the strengths of your team. You got to know the strengths of what this person brings to the table. For instance, like your sister. When I hear your sister sing, hands down, it's my Wanda, then it's Carly. Hands down. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's the truth. But to see her development when I was able to sing with her as well too, it's like you can hear it. You can hear the anointing in her voice. You can also hear her being able to step outside her comfort zone and to be able to finally, when it's her time to have a solo, she's singing with confidence. She's singing not only, sometimes we get a little bashful when some people sing with their eyes closed the whole entire time. Not anymore. We sing, we move around. We have our eyes open. We want to see what's going on. And it draws me in here and there.
Yeah, you said something earlier when it comes to church, you're kind of up and down.
Yeah.
Now, why is that on your mind in that way?
I truly believe that when I was born into this thing, as far as like just going into church, I didn't have a clue. Like, honestly, I didn't have a clue about, having a true relationship with God. Only thing I knew was like my parents were involved and you have to do this, you have to do that. You have standard stipulations, guidelines. We even say SOP, like standard operation procedure. Like it's a policy that you gotta get up and you gotta go to church.
Yep.
But you're just doing it just to do it. You're doing it because you know for a fact like there's repercussions if you don't go. And honestly, like what I wanted to do is I wanted to have my own relationship for myself. I just didn't know how to get there. I didn't understand. I understand about prayer and praying, but through the process, it's like, man, like what to do. Like, you know what I mean? I'm truly asking God for understanding because people had no clue about just making it to Sunday. When I'm just trying to be able to get to Sunday, knowing for a fact like it's hard to take the mask off of living a double life because you're truly not happy within yourself, and it's harder. It's harder now trying to get back in. So when we say this word as far as like backslide and all this, and for people who do go to church as far as backsliders and trying to come back into the church, and they end up feeling so guilty that they sit on the back row. I never wanted to enter church like that again. I never wanted to be or go back into a church that knew me. So I church hunt, looking for different churches that fits me. And it's difficult. It is so difficult because all you know is one way. I'm not saying I'm programmed, but all you do is you do church. You've been doing church for so long instead of having a true relationship with God. And my wife had said this the other day. She was like, is it because you don't have anything to do at church? That's why you don't go? Sometimes. Sometimes I don't see no value in it. Don't see the importance of clocking in. So when it comes down to it, it's like, I want to get back to that place where me and God was just so close. I can be doing wrong all week, but somehow God has so much grace on me just to get up that Sunday morning and get to church. Find songs, just rushing, trying to find songs to the point where it became addictive. That I was so comfortable on doing wrong all week, Saturday night. And then you get there Sunday morning and you're rushing. You can still smell the alcohol in my breath. Without a doubt. I can spray as much as cologne as possible. I can have my morning breakfast and you can still smell it on me. But I wanted to be able to make it to church so I can clock in. Just to have it as a check mark. I did it. I made it. You know what I mean? It's something to do. But it's harder now. It's hard now. I get emotional about it sometimes because that just wasn't the way I was raised. You know, and sometimes I feel like I let my mom down, not being the man I need to be. So I can be honest now, just like, you know, you get addicted to having a job, to having something to do. You know, and then you leave under certain circumstances and you just want to find happiness. You want to find happiness so bad. And it's hard to find out here.
Yeah.
Because honestly, happiness is only lasting for a split second. Drinking wasn't solving it. You know, shoot, going out to clubs and all type of stuff, man. It was not solving it. You know, I did everything in the book. Everything in the book. I put on the mask like crazy. Ash, I'm telling you, I put the mask on like crazy. To the point where that's the reason why, like, and I understand about certain standards because you do have to have order. You know, you do have to have certain standards. But even just like the way I dress, you know, I put the best clothes on ever. I go to JCPenney's when they had the sale. I go anywhere. You know what I mean? And get my ties and I would try to look sharp. Put my Cohan shoes on. Try to look sharp so I can fit in and camouflage like everybody else and to try to fit in. It hurts. It hurts bad not being able to truly be happy. Yeah, it hurts. You know, because and you know the enemy's fighting you every day. With every time I'm missing a Wednesday Bible study or I'm not in my word, because it's just not all about church. It's not. It's having a true relationship. Because that's probably something that I did have. I miss me and God's relationship. I miss talking to him. I miss him being able to confide into me and give me wisdom. It's crazy. My wife asked me when the last time I picked up my Bible. No, it sounds small, but she asked me when was the last time you picked up your Bible. Can't tell you. Got the Bible app. Scroll right past there. Go straight to Instagram or go to YouTube. Out the norm, and it's like a revolving door. It's the same cycle every year. You make a New Year's resolution, and then all of a sudden, shoot, after that first month, you're back to the same thing. You know, but I wanted to make strides to do better. I'm better in a lot of areas, but as far as my relationship with God, I need to be better. I was a church boy. But as I got older now, just like, I'd rather have that reputation. I'd rather be the church boy. Not Jimmy Choo. Not Chew, the alter ego, or the chef. I'd rather be the church boy, that title. The guy who, man, he dressed like us. But he ain't like us. Something about him. You know what I mean? Almost like, How Joseph was with the coat of many colors. Like he stands out in his way. Everybody gets kind of confused about the story, but he stands out in his own way. You know, like I got plenty of friends. When I mean actually, I got plenty of friends, man, that I encourage, that push, and they push me. You know, when as far as career basis or getting a bag or getting money, but when we talking about God, it's limited. As the folks say, on God, it's limited.
I guess I'll just ask you, where do you think the church could have done a better job?
I can never say that the church could have done better. I think honestly, you have to want better for yourself. We're so quick to look for someone else for a pick me up. But all the resources have been there from the start. Every message has been taught over the pulpit. Every Bible study, every Monday prayer, every over the phone calls. I need to take accountability. It was on me. I chose to do so much, you know, outside those four walls, which those walls were there not only to protect you, you know, but I knew sooner or later I was going to have to walk out those walls. The pressure of being a leader was so much on me. I couldn't bear it anymore. I couldn't bear being fraudulent anymore, being a fraud anymore. I thought seriously, people were going to find out the truth about me, or God's grace was just going to run out on me, you know, because nobody knew I had literally 2 kids. I had 2 kids out of wedlock. 2 kids out of wedlock, you know, being a praise and worship leader. Knowing that, you know, I shouldn't have been doing certain things, but I put myself in those positions. And granted, what I learned more than anything is like, you know what? Somehow, some way, you gotta come to grips with yourself and understand, like, hey, God is only gonna keep your grace on so much grace on you, you know, and so
You can't take advantage of God's grace.
I couldn't, brother.
Do you ever feel like there's some disconnect?
Yeah.
There's some reason why, like maybe you feel a lack of motivation in certain areas, and you may not understand, but then you may look at the Bible and say, it's not really speaking to me for some reason. Or maybe you go to church and you're like, I didn't get what I needed.
Right.
So then do you feel like that, you know, maybe some reason why is to...
Yeah, I think sometimes I always say I heard every message in the book. You know, I'm at an advantage. I heard everything. I slept under the pews. I heard every message. I done been there. It's not a message you can tell me that, or a story in the Bible I haven't heard from front to back. But sometimes, you know, it's not always what you say for the message, it's how you say in the message. And some messages truly prick my heart, and I sit up in my chair and I'm really paying attention. And then also sometimes when it's not for me, I leave church early. And majority of leaders do that. You know, not to call anybody out, they do. You know, and because they're at an advantage. They already know. And so they're I mean, a lot of times we get compensated to play or play, and after that we leave. We don't give God time to pour into our spirit. We never give him an opportunity to, because it's always about, you know, we got a job to do, and then we gone.
Sounds like it's about us.
Correct.
And not about who we may have to pour into afterwards.
Correct.
Which is also, it's more blessed to give than to receive. When you actually give to someone else, that may have been the blessing that you were missing for yourself.
That was. Every message that I needed to hear that I left out on is probably something that I could have encouraged my friends on. You know, like you got to understand, when I leave church, I'm still that same leader. The leader doesn't leave you. or yeah, you clocked in and you may be a leader at your job, but when you leave, like, you're still a leader in your household. You're still the head of your household. You still, when you go to church, you may have a leadership position. You're still a leader no matter what. It doesn't go away. And we got to start leading by example, man.
It's a big thing to say, like, it was me. That's good.
Yeah.
But is there possibly something deeper that could have caused had a part in that manifesting who you were?
You don't know certain things as a leader. Like, you don't know until it comes. Your leadership position, like, for instance, Josh, like, you're in a leadership position. You don't understand the variables of what it takes to truly be disciplined. You're young. Everything is at your feet, and then all of a sudden, what direction to go. You don't know. You don't have anybody coaching you up. You have nobody to assist you in this. There's nobody else who's been in the same position. Like, who can show you how to be a great leader? No, I've never been a praise and worship leader. I don't know. But all I know is that it's more devils than I ever had to fight off. I was fine where just being in the audience. I was cool. I was fine. I had less devils playing the drums. Right when I get thrown on the front line, all of a sudden I just felt like the enemy was fighting me anymore, like way more than anybody else. And then I didn't have anybody to truly guide me in a position where it's like, that's why it brought me back to the place of, man, like, it was addictive to just come there on Sundays, do my thing, and granted, you see me crying, you see me highly emotional, you see me. It almost looked like I was putting on a show, but I wasn't. I was truly trying to grab God's attention because I knew how guilty I was through all the stuff I done did.
They didn't know what you were
They
crying
had
about.
no clue. They didn't have a clue.
He reached God. They don't even know what.
He's slain in the spirit. But honestly, like, I was not. I was up there sweating alcohol. I was sweating it off, and I was truly trying to get. I was in some days I was truly trying to grab the hem of God's garment. I was trying my hardest because I felt like, God, you spared me through all the stuff, literally all the stuff I've been through this week. And the same prayer, I never do this again. I promise. I'll never do this again. By the time on Thursday get here, it's pending Friday. Friday get here is on and popping. Because you have so much temptation that's literally at your doorstep waiting for you to go ahead and just go ahead and make a mistake. That's how the enemy rolls, though. That's how the enemy is. And, like, if you want me to be honest, like, that's the hardest thing ever is to fight the enemy. But we had the resources, because I remember plenty of messages where they say, oh, all you need is just this book, this Bible to swing your sword. Man, it's hard to swing that sword. Yeah. I tried. I tried, and
that's a heavy book.
It's a heavy book. It's a heavy book.
Yeah.
But I resorted to so many things, man, and I just wanted to be able to kind of like, I wanted to do right. I had intentions on doing right. But it was so hard. It was, and so when you're young and you're naive and you have everybody pulling on you left to right, you got, your church friends, and then you got your friends who may not believe, in God like that, or maybe they do, but they live in an unequally yoked, type of a lifestyle, and so I'm being pulled in both directions, trying to fit in with both parties, and they still my friends. They don't stop being my friends. It's because I mean that's the craziest thing I can ever do is to let my friends. Are you telling me I gotta let my friends go? In some cases, you do. If they're not bringing you up. If you got more yes friends, mainly let them go. No matter what age you are. If you got anybody who's not truly pouring into you good things, I heard so many messages about throwing good seeds out. Well, I mean, it's the truth. You got to throw good seeds out and be around people who are literally helping you water those seeds.
Mm.
And so that's what I wanted to be around.
Yeah.
I want to be around those type of people. I want to surround myself around those people. And sometimes it may be desolate days where you don't have anybody to talk to. That's the hardest thing. There's been days where I didn't have nobody to talk to, nobody to lean on, church friends included. Because you got to understand, your church friends are going through it too.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't no better than the people that ain't in church. They just had an advantage because they know God. But they going through it too. And they putting on the same face every single Wednesday and Sunday. And it's hard for them to take that drive to make it to church. But they do it. They clock in. We got to give credit where credit is due. But I know God doesn't move like that. Where, oh, well, you just made it to church. Like, that's it. You ain't spend no time with me all week. But now you calling on me. Thank God we serve. Thank God it's God grace and mercy on us. But I mean, honestly, like, come on. It's we gotta have balance, a healthy lifestyle, and to try to even have, God at the forefront of our life. Not just when we need him when it's a convenience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody always, because I lived a real lifestyle outside of church. So when people talk to me and I'm telling my real story, it's, man, I didn't know you been through that. Man, I thought you was just a church boy. I thought you were just, no, I did both, brother. I did this. So when I'm telling you and I'm encouraging you, hey, don't go down that route. It ain't nothing down there for you. Hey, don't talk to her. She ain't the one for you. Oh, this not gonna work out. I got female friends and male friends that confide in me about, about God and about their personal relationships. And why is it not working out? Why is this and this person left me and I thought it was gonna work out. I was trying to get them to come to church. I was trying listen, man.
You already been through it. You already know what it's about.
I've been through everything, man. I'm telling you, I've been through everything, and I may not have all the answers, but the stuff I've been through, the real things that I've been through, you'll be amazed. Like, man, it taught me so much as a person to just kind of like how to stand up on my own on 2 feet. Because my mom carried me and my dad carried me the whole entire way. They were my angels, honestly. If it wasn't for my praying mama, honestly, they the ones who guided me through the process of getting to know who God is. And then all of a sudden, you realize all of a sudden you got to get out that nest. You got to fly on your own. You know that, right?
Mm.
You know they're gonna push you out that nest, right? You can't stay in there long. They can't keep feeding you. Can't keep nurturing you. Can't keep breastfeeding you. You're gonna get pushed out of this nest. And you gotta learn how to fly. If you want to fly that bad, you gotta put the work in.
What was that like when you're talking about you had to leave the nest?
Mm-hmm. I probably was, give or take, I had to be 16, finally 16, 17, maybe 18. But that helped me, being around youth and like-minded folks. It was so many people who were encouraging at that time. I mean, you know how it was. I mean, being a teenager is just like, you're so curious and antsy and can't wait to be into something or to get into something. But honestly, like, I finally wanted God for myself. You know, I wanted what I saw with everybody else. You know, you'd be surprised. Like they say, birds of a feather flock together, and that is so true. It's so true. If if you praising God and you praising God, all of a sudden it's just like, well, man, like what they praising about?
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in it. So that's when I started, like, I truly started understanding, like, man, I want to praise God about, about all the goodness that He's done for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started working its way up from there. Started leveling up from there. Shoot, I had some great youth pastors. I had some great people, some great men of God. We missing that more than ever. Like back then, when men actually, instead of us, like, I'm not saying they was trying to be our friends or anything, but they was really pouring into us and guiding us. And I seen a lot of men, not a lot of women. I didn't, to lead us, because men have to be around other men in order to give us some great wisdom.
Yeah.
No, it's nothing against women. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is,
But we're men.
we're men. Yeah. You're gonna tell me the truth about myself because you've been down that road before. So I take everything that you said, not only that, but for face value, because I truly believe that, hey, you know what, man, you learn your lesson. Now you're instilling me, which we instill into our kids in generation after generation.
You say that, you had there's when you were in church, when you were leading, there was always this problem with alcohol,
Yeah.
and I guess you didn't justify it. You just you didn't like what you were going through.
Right.
But it's not like you were over here trying to justify it.
Right.
So was it like a peer pressure thing that got you into that, or was it like a situation, or
Man, it was just you're curious. You're so curious, just like, in any before you become addicted to something, you're curious on it. I was not peer pressure. That was almost like I was the type of drinker that, when I'm around folks, I'm a social drinker, as what they call it. I'm a social drinker. Um, Behind closed doors, I'm highly introverted. But for me to be extroverted, I needed alcohol to, induce that, so I can be as bubbly, and because I'm really not like that. I'm really laid back. I'm cool, calm, and collected. But then once I started hanging around a certain type of group, you know, that's all I know.
mm,
That's all. That's how the party start. And then once you start doing that, all of a sudden, you can't stop. And it was difficult. It was very difficult.
I was like, is Josh crying over there?
I was like, they better not be crying over there. No, but it was difficult. Nobody told me to stop.
Mm.
It's fine if you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine to go because, like I said, you start with this particular drink, and then it leads on to other things. And once it leads on to other things, then you start having kids out of wedlock. Then it's just the rest that goes on. It's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
But the main thing is, because my kids are a blessing, but I would never have got to that point if I would have took God serious. That's the truth. If you get back to that point, and I'll tell my kids to this day, I always wanted to be truthful with God. And I used to talk to God like He was my homeboy, because that's just how I talk to Him. I was just like, hey, I should have been just honest with you, but instead, you knew that my heart. I was just talking. I was just giving you smoke signals. I wasn't giving you my honest heart and laying it at the altar, because I was so addicted to that feeling. Because I knew deep down I was so. From my brother passing away, when my brother passed away, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts more than when your best friend passes away. It hurts more than anything.
How old were you?
I had to be. It was 2014 or 2013. I think it was 2014. I was 27, either 26 or 27. I think it's 26. And that weight, is on your shoulders. And
My bad. And how old was he
shoot, my brother was
when you were 27?
Yeah, I was 27. He had to be literally like, I think he was like 6 years older than me. And he died young, man, like in his 30s.
Mm.
And so you when you love somebody so much, man, and then they pass young like that, it weighs on you. And now I'm not the older brother anymore. I'm the older brother now.
Yeah.
I'm in another leadership position.
Mm.
And
Seems like that's been happening to you a lot.
it is, brother.
It's like God has been putting you in positions that you didn't necessarily feel like you were ready for.
Correct. I was prematurely in a position that I didn't have any guidance on. I wanted to. I just wanted to be be in the rear. I didn't want to be behind the curtain. I never wanted to be in the forefront. I didn't enjoy I didn't enjoy that. It's easy to be funny, but when it's time to be serious, I didn't like that. And so you're right. God did throw me out there in certain ways that I wasn't ready for. And still to this day, it's just like, okay, well, I carry that burden around, that weight around, and it's hard to break that. It's hard to release that. Of all the things I've done, shoot, that's probably the hardest thing, man, to let that go, man. Still get jerked up about it every time his birthday come around. So,
Would you say that you're better at handling it, or is it kind of like,
yeah.
how would you?
Way better. I learned how to sometimes you just learn how to cope with things, man. Like and coping with it is not necessarily like just putting it by the wayside. It's just like, I know that person passed away, and the love I have for them, they know they know it. But I wanted to, I don't know, like, I just always I wanted to be better, but I wasn't happy because I know certain things that I could have done better. I could have been a better brother. So that guilt it lays on you.
I think a lot of people would know you as the life of the party.
Correct.
And a lot of times with the people that's the life of the party, there's something that's deep inside that nobody knows about. So, maybe, your brother is one of those things. Like, are there other things that like people don't know that you're dealing with, while they think you're, just happy go lucky all the time?
Man, it's a lot. I expect greatness from myself. And when I don't meet the level of greatness, it tends to weigh on me. I know it sounds minute, but like, man, I expected, like when I did praise and worship, like I expected greatness for us. No matter what, like I expect greatness. I don't care whoever is playing the music, whoever's singing. I expect greatness. And in that, shoot, man, I used to I used to listen to our videos. I used to see what could I do better. And it was a lot, man. It took a toll on me. That weight itself, I carried a lot because I cared a lot. That's the difference. I carried a lot because I care a lot. Because I don't want to see people fall by the wayside of the people I care about. I done had enough folks die. I done had enough people pass and whatnot. I care so much about people and truly less about myself. And it brings you all the way back to how my mom, raised me and my dad raised me to always be selfless. You'll never catch me being selfish. I'm selfless. I've always put everybody before me and always will. Even with me having a mic, I never even wanted that position. I hated it. I hated it so much. I tried my hardest to sabotage it in a way, for me to get out of it because, like, I care about, you know, I care about the well being. I even care about Oreo. Like me and Oreo talk all the time. If you care, it's gonna bother you. When you don't care, you can just go to and fro. But when
Yeah.
you care about your craft, you treat it so you treat it like it's special, like it's everything. And that's how I was, man. I just wanted the best for everybody. I cared about so many of y'all, and I never wanted even to leave y'all. Never, not one time. And it still hurts now. Still hurts. Like how can a leader leave his team? How can that happen? I didn't have it. I truly didn't have anybody to guide me in a certain direction because everything was so new.
Mm.
Everything was brand new. Like, and I didn't have anybody to guide me in that direction to get me back right. Um, it was almost like, hey, okay, you did wrong. Okay, go back up there. But I don't want to go back up there.
Mm.
I don't want to go.
You felt guilty when you were.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. The guilt lays on you.
I mean, could your parents in any way, like, even, I mean, did they know about, I guess, did they understand? Could they have added anything? Not to say that it's their fault. I would never say that, but just understanding. Maybe it was a new unique situation for them. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like, could they have even helped if they wanted to?
I don't think
You know what
so.
I'm saying?
I don't think so. Some people, like I said, some people are great leaders from the rear. Mine were great, from the rear. The things that they did and things that they sacrificed. I mean, they were awesome at what they did. My dad was I could brag and say, man, my dad was the director of Sunday school, of the Sunday school department. My
Mm-hmm.
mom was, the leader of this and that because she was leader in multiple things. And she's still a leader to this day, doing now she's doing her private women's thing. And it is so important because I do the same thing now, you know, by getting different couples and trying to encourage, and they're helping me out as well too. But there's nothing that they can do, man. They've been the best parents. Sometimes we have to sometimes we got to tip our hat off to our parents.
Yeah.
We're so critical on our parents, but you'd be surprised at who else is going through hell and high waters in their household who don't feel the love whatsoever. Man, my parents did amazing raising me, amazing, and they still do, and they own right. And so it taught me something that I needed. To go through the things that I was doing. Like it's almost like I was serving a prison sentence, man. That's how it feels.
Mm.
When you leave the church, man, you granted, it's the best thing ever when you first leave. Like, man, I'm out.
I'm free.
I'm free. Then all of a sudden, like you losing yourself. You're serving a prison sentence. There are shackles all on you. And shackles, I mean um, not being able, because I don't always want to jump off the deep end. Sometimes it's like, man, like the smallest thing of, man, I ain't even read my Bible today. I normally read my Bible by 7:00
On the dot.
on the dot, but then all of a sudden, like I got the freedom to, because it's a routine, and you discipline yourself to have that routine, and then all of a sudden it's like on the deep end, man, I'm addicted to such and such. Now I'm
Yeah.
addicted. Now I'm addicted to not going at all. That's how I feel now. Like you get so used to not going. You get so used to not going that literally it's like, how can a person go from the pinnacle of like, you're not a pastor, but you sing right before the pastor come on, to all of a sudden it's like, man, I don't feel like going. Yeah, this ain't gonna work out for me. Like, and you ask yourself, how did I get here?
From what you're saying is, it's like you're in this place where, like, if you can imagine yourself in this room with, like, maybe 5 doors, and God's like, don't open any of those doors.
Right.
And you stay right here.
Right.
And you're just kind of looking like, what's on the other side of the doors?
Man.
As soon as you open that door,
Right.
it's super hard to close it.
Oh, man.
So you opened one door of this thing that you weren't supposed to be doing, and you went out. You're like, oh, man, I can come back in, but that door, I don't know if I'm going to be able to close that door.
Man.
And now, leaving the church.
Of course.
You open that door.
Of course.
And it's probably not an easy door to just open.
Correct.
And say, I don't go to that church anymore. Then you left, and now coming back, it's like, gosh, I feel a certain thing out here, or it's a habit, and now, and I don't want to paint it as a picture of that this is the exact space, like necessarily this church is the thing because it's bigger than this, just this church. It's the church, the body of Christ, that like you're supposed to be in this space in God's hand,
Right.
that you don't walk out of,
Right.
Because everybody's going to try to make it to seem like, well, you shouldn't have left this particular church, but it's bigger than that.
It's bigger than that.
It's bigger than that, and that may very well be the case to a specific person, But I would say, like, definitely, that's something I've realized that the reason that, like, some doors I've opened, but then some doors I haven't opened yet, and I thank God that they haven't opened yet.
Right.
Right? Like, what do they say? Like, marijuana is the gateway drug.
Man.
They say once you know what, and people say no, it's not. Like, I get why you say no, it's not, but anything that you choose is like, you open that door to now you're okay with doing this thing,
Right.
and you realize it didn't kill you,
Right.
So now your brain can convince you that this is okay now. Now you've just began a war that you didn't have to start.
There you go.
So
no, you're absolutely right. I mean, when I thought grass was green on the other side, you leave, knowing that, oh man, it didn't kill me, so, I go back to keep doing it. And shoot, man, it's doors I should never even open. Things that I thought was for me wasn't for me at all. And I should never even went down that road. But I was peer pressured in some cases, and I can smile about it now because I made it through. Then I wasn't smiling about it because I had to go through it. So. But you're right though, Ashley. You're right.
You were tired of being the person that was this fake person.
Correct.
I guess you didn't know what to do about it, or were you just say you weren't doing it? I mean, because that doesn't seem like an easy thing to just know how to deal with it.
That's the truth. I used to pick certain songs, Ashley, dedicated for me. Majority of the songs I was picking was for me, of what I'm going through that whole entire time. The whole entire time. Because of, if it was a slow song, for a fact, he going through it. If I'm on bended knee, he definitely going through it. Because it was the truth. It was the truth. And granted, like, I've learned, like, what's best for Jordan? What is best for Jordan? Jordan has to understand who he is. And I was going through identity crisis.
I don't know if you know what the solution is right now, but it sounds like Just, I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to just act like I just thus saith the Lord prophesy. I'm not trying to do that because I could be totally wrong.
No, you're good.
So I don't like creating an environment like that. You know, it just screams to me that there's pressure to where it's like I cannot be myself because there's so much pressure that I have to be this person.
I gotta be perfect.
Yeah,
That's the whole. Literally, you just solved the whole equation. I gotta be perfect. When you're in a leadership position, you cannot make any mistakes.
but did that come from just?
That's what we.
That's just who you.
No,
who
that's
been,
how. No,
or?
that's just how we were raised.
So
The whole church environment. That's the church environment. You were not allowed to to dress a certain way, to do certain things, to look a certain way, to not get too high, not be innovative, not change the.
But you could say that would be problematic, right?
It definitely is problematic.
Okay,
it's problematic because at the end of the day, who can tell you how to be you? If I'm innovative and God gives me something to like turn the clock just a little bit, then evidently like I'm gonna do it. If God tells me to jump, I'm gonna jump.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to put everything on God as well either, because sometimes we want to put everything on God and it's not. So I want to be careful what I'm saying. It's like I want to impress God so much that I did this little run, right? I did this little run. I hope God liked that. Almost like David. I did this certain thing where, I hope he liked that. I did it for him, not for y'all. But then you get criticized for being, extra, or you looked at it in a certain way, and the light is a little bit brighter than you than on somebody else, and so it creates confusion. It creates kind of like a dark cloud over your department.
Yeah, for sure.
I can speak on that for days, man, because at the end of the day, like, all you want to do is to be able to be perfect, man.
I mean, when you try to do something and it may not even be good at first, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't a good idea that could manifest into something.
Right.
So when someone shoots it down too early, they could be shutting down something that could be greatness.
Right. Do people even understand what spontaneous praise is? I'm great at medleys, right? Because I didn't have to think. I didn't want to think about worshiping. I just want to worship. So when I did medleys, it was always about, I could just jump straight into this. Just jump straight into that. And if God leads me to this way, now it flows. Now, all of a sudden, God is truly talking to you because you're not thinking. You don't have time to keep thinking about the next song, about doing this and doing that. It's just medleys. That's why my dad used to say this all the time, but he used to call it simple stupid.
Yeah, the KISS method. Keep it simple stupid.
Keep it simple stupid. You know what I mean?
Say it, Josh.
Simple stupid.
The SS method. Brother Ashley, say it. He said it.
Yeah.
I'm a translator. All right.
Man, y'all crazy, man. God, crazy, bro. That actually kills me every time I look at it, bro. But it's the truth,
That's
though,
Brother
man.
Ashley right there.
Man.
Respect Brother Ashley.
Bro, y'all ain't right, man. Y'all ain't right.
Oh, man. I don't think the solution is found in the legalism of the church. It's definitely not found in the leniency. You know what I'm saying? It ain't found in there.
No, it's not.
Letting you do what you want to do.
No, you have to have order. I don't. The solution is simple. It's not trying to come up with things on your own. Because all you're gonna do is just create more and more confusion. If the word says this, and everybody kind of looks at the words, and they dissect it so differently. But the word is so simple. It really does. I mean, I'd rather for you to care about my soul than you to care about the fact that I got pandas on right now. Care about my soul.
Yeah.
Make sure that I have an opportunity to win. That's one of my things that I've always wanted. I just wanted to win. I took so many L's in my life. I just wanted to win.
Mm.
And that is the true solution. Like, for once, it's not no secret recipe or anything, or it's not a gimmick. Like, with trials and tribulations, like, it's an L in it.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. For once, I wanted to feel what it is to win for a change, and in that, like, you truly are winning with God. Tried it on my own, it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So now what can I do? Let me go back to how it started. Let me go back to when Mom and Dad taught me the simple things in life. And I wanted to get back to that place. So now I can, when I'm leading my household and my wife and my kids, and now I got a new one named, a new daughter, and she's the world to me. But if I don't show them and lead my family in the right direction, we're gonna be lost.
Yeah.
And my wife ain't putting up with that. So therefore, she putting the pressure on
She
me.
sure ain't.
And that's what she's supposed to do. So if there's any women who's listening right now,
Yeah.
and your man is not doing what he's supposed to be doing, put the pressure on him. I tell you the truth right now. My wife gave me an ultimatum before we got married. Boop, you got it. She said, we ain't doing this girlfriend-boyfriend thing too long.
Mm.
I said, huh? And that's what we did. I saved up my money and got married. Can't be shacking up. You can't shack up all your life. She was the right one.
Let me get you a podium. We can start preaching.
Where that? I'm ready right now.
He preaching, y'all.
No, I'm just being honest. Like, you can't shack up all your life. Sooner or later, like, you get you a good soulmate, man, and watch what happens. Get you a good partner in crime and see what happens.
Yeah.
On days that you ain't feeling it, and watch your spouse pour into you. Exactly what you needed.
And Ashley, she real. She don't play.
Man, what?
Yeah, she real.
Man, she beat
Anybody with that name is
she
real.
beat on me, y'all. She beat me.
Good. That's good. I'm glad. Glad to hear
I'm
it.
glad to hear it.
So that's why Jimmy Chew is doing okay now.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Jimmy getting chewed out.
Oh, for sure. But she definitely gonna clown me.
That's good.
She gonna get on me, boy. For real.
Yeah. But see, the question is like, is it sincerely you though? Or is it because when other people add in their position, their thoughts, it can cloud your relationship with God. So is it really you though? Like, are you going to God? I love bringing up this example. My grandma, she said, there were some things in the church. They didn't like how this was going and in her life. And she said she imagined herself in a cave, like by herself.
Right.
And she talked to God herself and said, hey, God, are you okay with this? And I understand you need a leader in your life, someone that you trust.
Right.
So is it you or is it other people? Even because you say in the world you had influences.
Oh, yeah.
But what about in the church?
I never had anybody that was pouring and that could pour into me from the church standpoint. Mind you, I'm at my age doing what I'm doing, and there's nobody in there who somewhat I trusted to kick it with, So I was hesitant about, allowing somebody in because they're gonna see the real in me. They'll see the streets. I don't think they would be as receptive, because I wasn't a good guy, man. Certain things I was doing, I was not a good guy, and things caught up to me, and so but I needed that. I needed somebody from the church. I needed that. What they call that, like the show, The Big Brother. Yeah, I needed that.
Yeah. Good mentor.
A mentor.
Yeah.
Never had one of those. I always saw other people uh, who who make it in life,
Mm-hmm.
and they always, give props to their mentor. Their mentor did this for them. Their mentor guided them,
Yeah.
and that's what you need more than ever in this day and age. Because I don't need someone the same. Like if me and you just on the same path and on the same level, like we ain't getting anywhere. Like I need someone with somewhat of experience, and it doesn't have to be an age. See, that's the thing about it. Like we put an age on that. You may have been down this road before that I truly need guidance on, and so you take it upon yourself to to feed out information to help me, because I
Mm-hmm.
may not be the best dad. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it spade a spade. I may not be the best dad. I may lack in some things because of generation after generation. So how can I be the best dad? Well, somebody else comes along who is amazing with their kids, who wears the girl dad hat and everything. Maybe I need to go and listen to them. Maybe I need him to truly pour into me. Maybe I'm watching from afar like how he carries himself. All of a sudden, like he gives an opportunity. Well, he gives you an opportunity to be around him, and you soak up information, and because it's truly traumatizing things that goes on in your life. The reason why you act the way with your kids.
Mm.
So how can you break that generational curse if nobody has ever taught you along the way? Man, I can go on and on, Ash.
I'm telling you.
It's like that out here, brother. The conversations that we have, even on like my I have these things where there these little events called Win and Wines, and I try to give a like a balance for for people to be as comfortable as possible,
Mm-hmm.
and for them to open up, and you'd be surprised the stories that we hear when it comes to marriages and relationships, and because we don't know everything. We want the perfect one, but how do we even go about getting the perfect one? First of all, look at yourself. What are you doing to to be the part that she is looking for? Because I was always trying to figure out what Ashley saw in me. What did she see in me? Because I didn't see it in myself. But she told me something. She said, I saw you in the prayer room. What I promise you can ask her. She said, I saw you in the prayer room and you was crying your eyes out and you was praying so hard. And that was so attractive to me. Out of all the other things I've ever done in my life, it was that. She'll tell you that. So maybe I need to get back to doing that in my house.
I guess crying to God ain't that soft after all.
Oh no, oh no, it's not.
It takes some strength
You know
to
what I'm saying? It's true.
to release yourself
Oh,
to God,
for sure.
boy.
For sure.
Yeah.
It is. That's what drew her to me.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought? But I got myself together to be the man that I was.
As far as mentors goes,
Mm-hmm.
it's like everybody was struggling.
Everybody was.
I don't know. I could point to a person that was like, all right, these are the people I want to base,
Yeah.
my life on. And I honestly, I found online mentors that I felt, okay, they kind of have what I'm looking for. So I listen to them a lot. And me personally, like with my, when I have kids,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell them, hey, I can't teach you everything.
I can't.
So if you find people that know the information I don't, yeah, listen to them.
Oh,
Obviously,
absolutely.
like bring it back to me. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to check it. But I do feel like we both kind of didn't have the correct
Correct.
role models,
Correct.
to go by, because everybody, it was so many people that were wearing the costume.
It was. It was so many folks who were crying out for help. You got to understand that when people are coming to church, definitely new people,
Mm-hmm.
it's brand new to them. It's brand new. They are so accustomed to, if they came from another church or they haven't been to church in a while and they come to your church, all of a sudden it's like, man, like, I like the way they carry themselves, but you have no idea the torment that person is going through.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea. And we try our hardest, but we didn't have any mentors. We didn't have a true mentorship program. If everybody's broke, 90% of everybody's going to still be what? Broke.
Yep.
I just solved it. Who's rich in here? If only the pastor and only the second the second bishop, reverend, whoever is only blessed, and everybody else is broke, something ain't right. So we needed mentorship in an area that, hey, I needed help in this position. Like I want to grow in this position. But I don't know how to get there. I didn't understand how to how to cope with my feelings and not bring my outside. I sound like work, but not bring all my emotions to the church all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And just be my true self and understand, hey, I need God, I need you to do something for me, please. Like, this is my authentic self. I need you to help me.
That means that space that's been open for so long, it's our job to fill that space.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm at a place where I wouldn't quite say I'm ready yet as far as the fullness of that position. That's my thought process. Like, I don't want my kids to go through, I haven't been through the trauma, but I'm just saying I don't want them to be confused in areas that I was confused in. Right. I want to be able to, all right, my parents taught me some, they broke some of the man-made tradition. I'm going to break a little more. And some people ain't going to like it, but I'm not about unimportant over important or prioritizing things in the wrong way, because the Bible tells us clean the inside of the cup and the outside will become clean. Right. So my process would be, if I feed you internally, then you're going to be less. I've never seen a person that was so, joyful and sinless and just happy and filled with joy, and they're, promiscuous. I'm saying you don't see that.
You don't see that.
But you do see wolves in sheep's clothing.
Right.
You don't see a sheep in wolves' clothing. So why don't we focus on getting sheep? Yeah. And if we make a person a sheep from the inside, they'll look like a sheep on the outside.
Correct. You're speaking the truth, because that's what it's all about. That's what it's truly all about. If you truly want to be closer to God, man, you got to come to him just as real as possible. You know what I mean? And they have to be patient for the ones who are coming in new. Be patient, and with the ones who've been there for a while, be patient with them. We want to rush the newcomers so bad to transform. Yeah. We put a heavy load on the new ones so much.
And they put that costume on, and we're just good.
And then when and they're not good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They really are not good. They want to be like you so bad that they're forcing it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then I can truly say I've with the mistakes I made doing, because I should have been the man I am now. Then I'm more open now, but I don't think, like you said, I wasn't ready yet. I didn't go through anything yet to even give my honest opinion about certain things. I can't give wisdom on certain things because I haven't been through it. I was probably saved in the first 2 years we was at the church. After that, brother, or maybe even that first year, before we got the platform, I was saved.
It's hard just not sinning.
What?
You need something else.
You need something.
That ain't enough. Just don't sin.
No, shoot, man.
It's like, I ain't sinning.
No.
Where's my help at?
Hey,
Where's my help?
what I'm trying
Just
to tell
don't
you.
see it.
Hey, it's hard.
Okay.
It's hard.
I'm getting weak.
Yeah,
I'm
I
losing
am
my
getting
grip.
weak. Shoot, I am getting weak. I was getting weak after a good Sunday service. Me trying to force it and repeat myself constantly until I'm red in the face.
Yeah.
You know, want people to catch the Holy Ghost and all that. And shoot, man, I was struggling, brother. Struggling greatly.
Now, other people that grew up in other religions,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking like Buddhists,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Because we don't know for sure, I guess. But like they may be a Baptist, they may be, Church of God in Christ, whatever. Do you think that they are just like completely lost and don't have a love for the truth? Or like, do you think maybe, how should we
No,
view them?
that's their truth, and they strongly believe in it. And one thing they do have in their church or their religion, they got love in it. And we got love in ours, but we don't show it. We don't show it like we supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, we tippy toe around. We tippy toe about it. We don't talk in confidence about our God and how much that He has blessed us tremendously and then some. We whisper or we have talks here and there, but we don't really talk about God the way we need to and how much and what He brought us through. You know what I mean? Like, but they do. These other religions, they talk about it. They brag about it. They dress alike. They all dress alike on a Sunday and go to church. These 7-Day Adventists I seen, they go on Saturday. They go.
Yeah, it's interesting. They'll leave this, which we call the truth, for what we would say, which is not the truth,
Right?
And they will conform to that.
All right.
So you think they must be doing something right that we're not doing?
Man, I'm telling you what's in there. It is love that is keeping people to keep going. It's love, and I know that it sounds like what is that? Like it's some secret sauce. This ain't what you cooking. This is the truth. It's love that's keeping people. If you show me what love looks like, I guarantee you, God is in it. God is in it. Because we wouldn't be doing our people a certain way. It'll make somebody come back and be like, you know what? Man, I appreciate being here. I appreciate y'all so much. Yeah. It ran me away. Ran me away. And that's in bold print. It ran me away. Wasn't no love there. And from then on, I was hopping from church to church to church looking for love. Looking to be accepted, looking for validation, looking to be wanted, looking for acceptance. But it wasn't love from the one that I truly wanted love from as far as the church. It's the truth.
And people keep saying it. And when I was younger, when people used to say that, I'm just like, oh gosh, they want somebody to pat them on their back.
Yeah.
And they don't want the truth.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
The more I hear it, the more it's like, all right, Ashley, sit down and really think about what they're saying and pay more attention. And I tried my best just to get close and see. And, you don't notice it until it affects you. The second you do something that, someone may not align with, or when you ask a certain question,
Right.
It's like, you're not falling in line. Luckily, my dad, he did understand, like, hey, I asked a lot of these questions too. You're doing the right thing by asking those questions.
Right.
So I thank God for him. But yeah, I do see, like, now when people say we don't show enough love, obviously you have people that are just looking for any problem, and they want somebody to, hold their hand.
Correct.
Like, the whole entire way. Like you said, like they don't want to leave the nest, and you kind of have to at some point. But there are some people that should be a sign, hey, you can you can speak
Right.
to people when they come in. You don't have to have a full blown
You do.
conversation. You can say, "Hey, how you doing?"
do.
Simple stuff. Like you can let them know, like, "Hey, I actually do care about you."
Correct.
And when I'm praying for you, I'm not praying as like you're a sinner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking God to forgive both of us.
Right.
Because that's a love that covers a multitude of sins.
Right.
And it's a glory of a man to look past the transgression. So I'm not just looking at you
Right.
based on like, oh, that's the guy that does this sin.
Right.
So I'm not looking at you like that.
Right.
I'm looking at you as someone who's struggling, who has more to offer.
Right.
And I just like that's why I love these type of conversations.
Yeah.
Because I let people know like, hey, I prepared this whole thing for you because I care about what you have to say, not because I want people to see this. Because it's like, no, I mean, obviously I want people to be blessed from it,
Right.
but it's like I'm not just throwing some questions together and just, hey, answer this, answer this, answer this. Like I genuinely feel like there are some things that even I need to hear from you so that I can be better.
That's why this platform was such a need. I don't I applaud you for this platform, and I do want it to grow. This platform in itself has truly it blessed me. I had jitters driving here. I was so anxious driving here because I never got to speak my truth, and I didn't know how to talk about it. And I'm not even gonna say like, well, man, this is therapy, but it's therapeutic, and it was something that I needed to finally get this weight off my chest. I kept telling you that I was like, man, I want this off me. I wanted to finally like let it be known, like, hey, you know what? This so-called perfect guy, it's not so perfect, and he wanted to strive to be perfect, but couldn't keep up this image. So he resorted to just leaving. And then he goes through many obstacles along the way, which lead me to be in your face now and have so much wisdom to talk about it and be an encourager. Like that's all if I get anything out of this, hopefully everybody's just encouraged, man. Like because you can make it and you can get through it. And to be honest with you, like this is much needed and it's much bigger than you think it'd ever be, brother.
There's one thing we like to do. I like to do on the show is tell you what I think your superpower is. And it may not be like, I may just make it up off the spot. It may not be something you can like find an actual hero that goes with it. But I think you have the ability to charge other people. You have the ability to say something to them and them to feel like it's like you have the ability to give other people powers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that when the time that I've spent with you over the years, there was always some way, even if you didn't know how to explain it, you knew how to get the passion to them. You can spread passion to people. And that is one of the biggest superpowers you can have.
Right.
Because you have the ability to give other people powers.
I appreciate that, man.
So I don't know, like if you...
I appreciate that. That is my first time actually hearing something like that. It's kind of like I've always wanted to hear, like, how much that, someone actually looked at me differently and, and appreciate the type of person that I am because I've always wanted to be that. Just always try to push people in the right direction and to be inspirational as much as I can. Just outside of just singing and stuff like that and playing drums and like I really want to just honestly just for people to win as much as possible because it's so hard to win these days, so anything that I can ever do to anybody, if you ever need anything, you know what I mean, always don't ever hesitate to call me or hit me up. And that goes for anybody, man. Like I'm available and I want to use, if this is a new gift that I have, a new superpower that I've always possessed, like I want to use it more. I want that to be my calling, You know, it may not have to always be on the platform. You know, I can do it from anywhere.
This is a wild card segment.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's just, a few random questions.
Okay.
So, and you can answer however you want to.
Okay.
So the first one, you're given one wish, but you can't use it on yourself. What would you wish for? That's interesting. After I just said and I just figured out the superpower I was going to give you.
Said it, right?
Yeah, I didn't even write. Like usually I write it down, but I didn't have it written down. I just thought about it.
That's crazy that you said that, though.
Yeah. So one wish, but you can't use it on yourself. What would you wish for?
Like limitless love. People having a bad day, all of a sudden it's like, man, I needed this. You know, that reassurance.
Yeah.
You know, for me to just spread that as much as possible, like wildfire. Like, man, I'm going through it. Well, here's some love. You know, you're gonna be okay.
What is a common topic at your dinner table?
Food. I mean, to be honest, what we eating?
Yeah, girl, chicken wings. Okay.
Now you know we eat different over there. We eat good now.
So y'all be spreading recipes. And...
you know I do the cooking.
Well, you a chef, so that makes sense. That's what you do. So of course,
of course.
Yeah.
Like I love the fact that I can get in the kitchen, throw down. But that's one of the main topics, like what we eating.
Another thing that you do to feed other people, giving them powers and giving them food.
It is.
There you go.
We're gonna feed stuff now.
Who do you secretly envy? And obviously, it's not like a real envy. It's kind of however you want to describe. Because I know like we say envy is a sin, but maybe someone you admire. I don't know. However you want to answer it.
I admire my Aunt Wanda. Yeah, her tenacity and her skills to be able to listen, and then the wisdom that she has to pour it back into you. Like it's almost like the Tasha Cobb song, like "Fill Me Up." Like she was the person who I was going to. Because she's a praise and worship leader as well in her church. And so it's like she was pouring into me and giving me direction. And that's how I was able to mature, because I was so immature. I learned she was like, it gave me the tools that I needed. And I admire her so much because not only is she's my godmom, but like she just gives me the things that I need to be successful, man. And that's all I wanted to do. That's where I got that. Man, I just wanted to be perfect because I just wanted to impress her a lot of the times. And if I can impress her, then I was like, man, I'm good. But that's the person who I envy a little bit.
So, Wanda, if you're watching, Jordan just said he envies you, so be careful.
Yes, I do. I do.
So be careful. Who in your family has contributed to the person you are today?
I must say,
the Lord.
The people who have contributed. I gotta say, my wife first, my mom, my sisters, and definitely Pops, man, Ashley's dad, who passed away, man. He gave me his blessing to take care of his daughter. Wanted the best out of me, and to always make sure that I cut up her steak into strips, and so those are the things that sticks with me the most. Those people who got me here today, who poured into me, those are my family, definitely, man.
And the last question, do we change when we have power?
It's a good question. I think we do. I think we have to. It's the difference between Clark Kent and Superman. They have to. Because when you have power, you're no longer that guy or girl, really the guy that I'm talking about referencing is, you're not that guy that everybody just thinks he's just the office man with the glasses on. he has that it factor underneath his suit, and he goes out there and saves the day, and or makes an impact. Somehow, some way, he has the power to change not only like himself and want to be bigger than just the average Joe. Like he wants to be great, and he wants God to get all the praise for it. So that's how I feel about that, brother. I feel like the power for you, if you possess power, you must change. And if you got the power of the Holy Ghost, it's simple.
Gotta change you.
It'll change you. Shoot.
For sure.
It will, brother. It will.
Mm.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. You have any final thoughts? And you could let them know, what you cooking on Instagram for sure.
Man. Oh yeah. So
we'll have to have a whole episode about cooking it up.
No, I'm a personal chef. For anybody who's asking, like I do small catering. I'm already in the works of getting my own event space to do small events, which is with What You Cooking and Winning Wines. And so this will be a nice space for people to have events. And I'm excited just for the process. I mean, it's been a long time coming to finally be my own individual, and but for people to have like again, people to have their opportunity to speak on topics that can help so many people, and help their relationships and whatnot. And so, but in that, man, it's exciting, man. That's what I got going on right now, and who knows what's in store. Hopefully, I find a church. That's the main thing that I'm focused on right now. I do have one in mind, but I'm never just stamped or sealed on one. Right now, I am looking at another one as well. But man, I know it's been a blessing, but I finally have the want to, and that's all I needed. And so we back in action, and I can't wait, man. Can't wait. I can't wait till we talk again, and all of a sudden you see I'm even bigger and better.
Yeah. No mask this time.
Oh, no mask. No mask, man.
Definitely. If you mess up, just that's you now.
Absolutely.
You gotta own it.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure, man. This was a great conversation.
Yeah.
It's every conversation just kind of opens my mind a little more.
Yeah.
To what's really going on. Because man. We could go another 3 hours.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all so much for having me, man. It's been a blessing. Hopefully, everything I've said, I've been open and honest. And so, just thank you guys, man. Thank you for this tabletop and this platform that you have given me. So, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you so much, brother.
Yes, sir. God bless you, man.
God bless you.